This week's chapter is a lot like the one that we got last week, in the sense that it's shorter than usual. Usually Eden Zero chapters have around 20 to 20 plus pages, while this one, much like last week, has only 18 pages. Also, not a lot really happened in this chapter. I mean, we did have a few things go down, and we even got a battle, but overall, it was mainly just like talking. We're still in the setup phase for this arc, right? So I'm thinking that we'll get like 1 or 2 more chapters before we exit out of the setup phase and we're finally into like some epicness, some action and all that stuff. Like I said, we got a little bit of action in this chapter, but I mean like real action. The action in this chapter is just like some playful stuff. The enemy that they take on isn't really that much of a threat. But let's actually dive into the chapter now. So this chapter basically opens up with the crew deciding that they are going to explore the underwater city. But before they go off and do that, Rebecca decides to peer into the crashed spaceship to see if she can like find anything, and she does. She sees a message written on the dashboard that says, "Nadia, love of my life." Who's Nadia, you may be wondering, or maybe actually, probably you're not wondering that at all. You've probably all read the chapter and you already know who that is, but moving on. Okay, so the crew is now in the underwater city, and in this city are just a bunch of dead robots. This landscape is something that we've seen quite a few times before, and what I mean by that is just like a bunch of dead robots in a giant area. Rebecca even notes that this place is kind of a lot like Granbell. She actually cuts herself off before she finishes saying Granbell because, you know, Shiki's right there, and it would be really insensitive for her to say something like that, considering that they just went through all of that. And poor Shiki, man, after he looks upon all of this death, he instantly gets flashbacks of Granbell. I don't know if it was Rebecca that reminded him of that, or if it was just him looking at the landscape. There's probably a mix of both. However, there is no time to reminisce or have PTSD flashbacks or even question what the hell is going on, because a tentacle monster has just appeared and has grabbed Pino. Yeah, Mashima, why? Can you not write a story without including a tentacle monster? He loves him. Thankfully, nothing weird went down with this tentacle monster. He was purely there just to grab onto everyone and eat them. Like, this dude wasn't playing no games. He was like, I'm here for one thing and one thing only, a 5-course meal. Shiki attempts to stop the tentacle monster, but buoyancy messes with his gravity powers and it sends him straight up out of the water. And that was something that I did not expect, like actual science. Not to knock Hero, he's probably included it before, but I guess this is just like the first time I've ever caught it. Like, buoyancy messing with Shiki's gravity powers, and there being like a tiny bit of an explanation about what buoyancy is and how it kind of works with gravity, or rather, how it kind of doesn't work with gravity. It was interesting to see. But yeah, the buoyancy, it messes with Shiki's gravity and it sends him straight out of the water. And while Shiki is out of the water, he's like, yo, this is kind of too smart for me. The buoyancy is messing with my gravity, so I guess I'll just make myself heavy. Smart guy. And I mean, it works. He does a Magimech attack, a gravity center, and this causes him to slam down on top of the tentacle monster, freeing all of his friends that were about to be eaten. However, the attack does not kill the tentacle monster. It really only just pisses him off, but it does give the crew enough time to escape and make it to the temple. And once they make it to the temple, the tentacle monster kind of just stops. It doesn't follow them anymore. It backs off. For whatever reason, I don't know. Wait a minute, actually, I do know it's because the temple is protected by like a special barrier. Also, side note here, Shiki with his hair down looks kinda cool, and he reminds me of an anime character, but I can't remember which anime character. Let me know in the comment section down below if he reminds you guys of any other anime character, or don't, I don't know. Moving on, Shiki notes that the temple has a somewhat familiar ether to him. Probably because, you know, he's been here before. But after that, we are then introduced to a new character known as the Guardian Nadia. She's the guardian of the temple, and the temple is also known as Mother's Beacon, or rather the Mother Beacon. But that name should be familiar to you all because it was mentioned at the beginning of this chapter. Now, I have a theory about this character, and there's no like evidence to back it up or whatever. This is purely just speculation. I'm thinking that Nadia is like Eden Zero's version of a siren. For anyone who doesn't know what a siren is, first off, go watch Pirates 4, but if you don't want to, they're basically like mermaids, but instead of being like cool and nice, they seduced sailors and ate them. So if you're still following me here, I'm thinking that maybe since Nadia is like Eden Zero's version of a siren, she was the one that killed all of those robots outside in the city. Also, look at her, bro. I can't be the only one that is getting like a weird feeling from her. Like, I don't trust that face. But who knows? This was just a theory. She's also got a tail, but it was just a theory, so take it as you will. But anyways, that is going to do it for this video, so thank you all very much for watching. I hope that you all enjoyed. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody! Take care.